Audio Jungle.
Oh yeah! What do you get when you put four of the most opinionated grown-ass single men on one show? You get the Middle-Aged Still Single podcast! Let's meet the crew!
Audio Jungle.
Mitchell! Nazir!
Audio Jungle.
Nemo! Big Rob! Let's get it! Right, good evening, good day, depending on where you're at. Welcome to Middle Age Still Single. I am glad to have all of us together tonight. We got a great show planned. Let me introduce oh, there. Nas with his fragrance. All right, let's go around and say what's up, Mitch. How we doing, brother?
We're doing good. Had a beautiful 75-degree day here in Sacramento, California. And unfortunately, I was inside working, but I managed to step out once in a while and get to enjoy it. Doing nice here.
All right. Nemo, what's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Everything is good in Missouri. It's a little cold, but I'm ready to hand out some red and some yellow cards. Let's go.
All right. Nas, how you doing, brother?
Man, it's lovely. It's
All
a
right.
lovely
What,
59 degrees here.
what will you spraying?
Oh man, this is a little bit of tonka bean. This is YSL, okay? And this one is La Nuit de Lune. This is the night version. There's a day version. But this is right here. You want to cozy up with your lady on this one, man. It's a sweet, soft fragrance, man. She'll love it. And she'll lean in on you on this one, baby. Trust me.
All right, brother. All right, gentlemen. So let's get it going. First topic today, toxic masculinity. Now I'm going to read a definition here. All right. Then I'm going to go to you, Nas, and you tell me what you think here. Toxic masculinity involves cultural pressures for men to behave in a certain way. And it is likely this affects all boys and men in some fashion. Toxic masculinity refers to the notion that some people's idea of manliness perpetuates domination, homophobia, and aggression. That is a definition from Google. Nas, what do you think, bro? What's your opinion on toxic masculinity?
You know, man, it's like, is there a universally accepted definition for it, right? Because it's hard to decide how to feel about it when there's so many different ways to look at it, right? If you look at it from the perspective of the extreme feminists, right? They think all men are toxic, right? And that can't be true, right? Uh, I do accept that there's the concept is true. Initially, I said it's a myth, right? But I think it's a myth in the way that the feminists are talking about, the extreme feminists are talking about it, right? Feminism has its place. But extreme feminism, I think, takes that and adds all men into it, right? And so I think that for myself, toxic masculinity is something that I see among men. Like I see guys who are puffing themselves up to try to be the alpha and the alpha dog in the room, or you got, if you're in the inner city, you see it all the time because there's this the tough guy wins, right? So I see it that way, but I don't, and none of the women in my life have really mentioned anything like that, right? So I don't see it because I think we're talking about it because the women now are talking about just about all men are toxic. And so that's kind of my baseline of where I stand on it right now.
Okay. Mitchell, what do you think, brother?
Yeah,
let's take it
I
from
can
a
see
different
that.
perspective.
Absolutely. It's not that different. I don't have a direct example to go with, but it is out there. And I think that this past year or two, that the feminist movement and the propaganda main media that was really pushing narratives this past year or two. They really focused on the feminism and how the white man and the men in general are too misogynistic. But I think honestly they picked on a couple of stories and they ran with it. Do I think it's out there? I do. I've seen it a few times. I've been in a couple conversations and I'm just shocked at some of the things these guys will say. But at the same time, I don't think it's as huge or toxic as the media has made it out to be in the last year or two. It is definitely present, and I don't know anyone in person that's within my sphere of influence, but I've seen it firsthand. Let's just say that. I know Amaro's going to have something to say about that. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys too. But to be honest with you, I think men are created to be men. So I mean, we are created to be dominant. But like you guys said, social media just kind of escalate a lot of things. So everybody's sensitive. I mean, you can't say one thing now. I mean, like you said, the women. I mean, there's so much sensitive stuff about women rights and women movement. So I mean, you men in a way now they're kind of like shrinking back just not to offend anybody. You know, like you said, like Nas said, social media just driving everything. Men are meant to be men. We're all too sensitive. We just need to live our life. Man needs to dominate. If you have any questions, write me a link, send me a message, and I'll respond back to you. Okay, guys? Robert, it's back to you.
So I definitely believe that it's very prevalent, but I also believe that toxic femininity is very prevalent too. Let me explain what I think here. So one perspective is this: a friend of mine, a female friend, says, "You're not one of those kind of guys that go to a strip club, right?" I said, "It's not my favorite place to go, but I've gone, right?" I said, "What's your problem with a strip club?" And so she's like, "Oh, that's exploitation of the women." Right? I was like, obviously, you have never been to a strip club because really, if you look and see what's really going on, the man is getting exploited, right? The man is the one that's, if you watch the interaction between stripper and dude, right? That is exploitation of the man. The woman has all the power in that relationship, all right, for the most part, all right? Now, granted, we we live in a time right now where people are like, there are tons of women who are just like making a living just by being beautiful, right? And using their beauty and their femininity to get ahead. And listen, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm cool with that. If that's the gift you're given, but you can't say that guys who have wealth and are maybe great athletes or or dominating these women, you can't say, hey, that's not fair when, to me, the women are doing it on the other side. Like the women who have a great deal of beauty and I guess I don't want to say charisma would be the wrong word, but just sexiness and attraction are doing or manipulating and exploiting men just the way men of wealth and power and who have charm are taking advantage of some women. So like we have to be fair when we look at that. We have to, we have to, measure it out on both sides. Mitch, looks like you had something to say on that, man.
I just a real quick ad. Like here in America, for sure. I haven't been to strip clubs in America in 100 years. It was never my thing. But when you mention that, you're talking about strip clubs here, and the fact is, those women have not been forced there. They're there. They've made the choice. I don't believe in 100%. I haven't been to every city in America, but those women know what they can make, and they can make a decent living, whether it's for school, whether it's for child, or whether it's for themselves. Yeah, I think the exploitation on that side of it is both men and women, like you say. So good point, Rob.
There was a movie with Jennifer Lopez that came out a couple of years ago. And it was about these women who would go to these clubs and they would meet these men with money, and they would absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and that's not art imitating life. I mean, that's not life imitating art. That's art imitating life, right? It makes the
Yes.
movie because this thing had already happened before. And there's another thing about the strip club that gets me. When a woman talks about herself working at a strip club, you never hear the feminists say, "You're being exploited." They only talk about it when a man is confronted about the idea of going to a strip club. And I've never seen a woman doing a sad stripper dance on the pole. She happy. She up there getting that paper. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a woman slide down the pole with tears coming out of her eyes. They have a choice, bro. This is the United States. They can
Yeah.
say, "I refuse to do it." Prostitution is illegal in the United States. Uh, uh, and slavery is no longer allowed in the United States. So you cannot force somebody to do something to make money themselves. So that's all I have to say about that.
Nemo?
Nemo, you got the card going, man?
Yes, yes. Let me. I'll just touch base on that. When it comes to the strip club, I mean, I know you guys said they have choice to make. I mean, they go there voluntarily. Not all of them have that choice. Some of them are there for survival. You know, some of them. I mean, and I'm speaking from a foreigner perspective. Not, we went to. I mean, we've gone to different. We've gone to Colombia. Some of those women have been. I mean, I went to. I did went to a strip club in. You know, when I was in Colombia. Those women are there not because they want to. You know, they're there because they have to. So you can see the exploitation when it comes to that. When it comes to, in that sense, they don't always have the choice. Some of them, they go there. Of course, when they get there, they have to do whatever they need to do to make you feel like you're the king. They're going to exploit you to get the most money out of you. And that's why they're there. But I'm just saying they're not always there voluntarily. Sometimes they have no choice. Life puts them in that situation.
Let me say something. I concede the point that there are certain situations where a woman is brought here from some country, her passport is taken, and I deal with this stuff at work. Her passport was taken, and things like she's told that I'm not giving your passport. You're going to pay this debt by doing these things. Okay, that is not what is a part of the dominant part of the larger stripper community. That's not what it is, right? You can find exceptions for everything, right? And I agree with him 100%. That woman in that particular situation does not have a choice, and the people who are exploiting her deserve to be locked up. But what I'm talking about is the girl that is allowing herself to be videoed, who's going on social media and bragging about this. You have a whole culture of women right now. They talk like men and they look like whores. They dress this way and they talk about this and this, but when it comes to men responding and saying we want a softer version of a woman, and now they bring up exploitation and they bring up, toxic masculinity and feminism, and that's where I think we have to draw a line, because I see a lot of guys. There was this guy on one video. He said, I'm gonna stop talking in a minute. He was saying, he said, women, stop leading with your job, because men don't necessarily care about that. And it's absolutely true. But then you go down and there was a simp who was saying men need to man up. What are you talking about? We need to. A man just told you what he wants, and you telling him he wrong for what he wants. So now we got men going against other men for what most men want. And that's all I'm trying to say. Not anti-woman, not pro-prostitution, not pro-stripper. Just putting it out there.
Thanks for clarifying that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So just to add one more thing, man. Let me tell you that I've known people who have lost their livelihood, who have lost their homes and families, playing around with a stripper, like giving thousands, or people who go on webcams and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, talking to something that, that's a kind of a figment of his imagination. I mean, who's talking for that guy, right? That's toxic femininity. Like if that woman is not beautiful and not telling you all the things you want to hear to keep giving her money, that situation doesn't exist. Okay?
Absolutely.
Listen, I am not for manipulating anybody, but you have to look at it at both sides here. You have to be fair and weigh out things before you jump on, you know, okay, you guys are toxic. But what about these women that are toxic that are doing these things to these poor simps?
Yeah.
This dude that could never, ever, ever dream of getting a beautiful woman to talk to them. All right. But he's got a relationship over the webcam, and he thinks it's real. And he's giving her money like it was his wife. Like, dude, that somebody needs to talk to that dude.
Right.
Well, and they've got links coming out now that are directed to phone numbers, and they just send out the link to mass numbers. They buy a group of numbers and they send them out. There's emails like that. Hey, call me so and so, or on Facebook. Hey, I'm your new friend. Add me as a friend. These women are a smaller pool. Let's be really real clear about this. They're a smaller pool of these types of women, but they're never mentioned in the argument of toxic masculinity.
Absolutely.
And I don't even think they belong in the same conversation. Toxic masculinity is about behavior by the male, but that behavior by the male is influenced by the culture we live in. So if that's going on in America, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get this hyper toxic masculinity. We're going to get a step down of just athletes who have a high regard of themselves, and they're going to have super high confidence, very masculine. We're all masculine. We're at different. We show it differently. We have different levels of it. But the conversation on social media and in the mainstream media is never two-sided. It's always the one-sided. And so, we have toxic masculinity, but it's not, like I said before, I don't think it's as bad as the media and social media make it.
Yeah.
Copy that.
All right. Any
Yes, sir.
Nemo, you got anything else on this topic, brother?
No, I'm good. You guys clarified that for me. I'm good.
All right, man. So let's move on to the next topic. As grown-ass men like we are, who've lived a lot and come into contact with a lot of young people, the question is, what kind of skills do you wish colleges would teach that they just don't teach? Like, what should colleges be teaching kids now, or 18-year-old? I guess they're still kids for us. Like, what should they be teaching that they just don't teach? Nah, it's your brother. Go ahead, Mitch. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing that they're not teaching in high school, and that's why I think it should be done in college. But I honestly think it should be done in high school, and that's just budgeting. That's budgeting, investing, anything financial. We're not preparing young men and young women to deal with finances in a capitalistic society that is very materialistic. It's all about advertising to spend your dollars, and no one talks about saving your dollars. At least it's not directed to that youth. And so when you get out of high school, because it's not taught in high school, it needs to be one of the,
Two sips.
it needs to be taught in JC. Needs to be taught in the early years, not the fourth year. This is like a GED requirement in my opinion. Instead of exploring rock and jazz and natural history just to fulfill some money-making credit building to get to your main objective of marine biology, law school, real estate, whatever. These people need to know to pay themselves first. They should know not to spend more than 30% on a credit card. They should have theories and programs that set them up for success, and we just don't. We set our kids up for a big time failure. and it's fallen on the parents, and the parents are all working 2 jobs. So
Nemo trying to tag
they're
in.
not at home to help out. Nemo, you got something to say about that?
Hey, yeah, go ahead,
Yes,
brother.
yes. I'm gonna tag in. I'm glad you saw that. Now you saw the yellow card bump. But actually, to be honest with you, I actually support a lot of stuff that you said. The financial responsibility for me, I'm always speaking in terms of the foreigner point of view. Coming into the country, being in high school, I never knew anything about financial responsibility, credit card. I mean, I was in debt right after I got out of college, and it started from high school. I wish I would have known a little bit. I think that might have helped. Maybe in high school, knowing how to save maybe 20% of your income and things like that. Another thing that I'm going to talk about too is I'm 100% agree with you on that, Mitch. Is cultural differences. I wish though America is the land of opportunity, and America is filled with so many different races. I mean, you have now. I'm not saying you're going to teach every single race, every single tribe, but you can do the basic one. I think we have Spanish class, which is good. Then you have the Asian community, you have the African community, just some kind of diversity where you can. I mean, in China, when you do this, what does that mean? Just the basic form of element of what other cultures live like and what they see. I think that will also help America to kind of understand, because America make fun of things they don't understand. That's the first thing they don't understand it or make fun of it, and they don't understand what that person feels like. So if I come to this country, I do something I'm not, and to me it makes sense, but to an American it doesn't make sense, and they'll make fun of me. They don't know what that feels like,
Yeah.
and that's something eventually we'll get to talk about. But they don't know what that feels like, what that did to me, growing up being in America, because I don't know no better. I'm just saying this is what it is. I'll give you a perfect example. When I first came into this country, my high school, I wanted to try out for football. Football in every country is called football, but in America, football is not football; it's handball. So it's two completely different things. So they made fun of me because I have no idea. When I went to go try out for the football team. When I got to the high school, when everybody was there, I was like, "Where is the football?" And everybody was throwing there. So I was like, "No, I'm from Nigeria. I play football. Where's the ball?" It was like, "No, you got this a handball." So that was, and everybody was laughing at me, but I have no idea what was going on. I think if I can get some kind of a cultural difference, somebody give me a little knowledge of what was going on, it would have been helpful to me. Back to you, Nas. Any thoughts?
Yeah, man. Welcome to America. This is what we do, bro. It's America first, baby. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm actually being a little bit facetious by saying that, because I do. America was founded by people who weren't here, so immediately it's diverse, right? But because of the way education was taught, we were taught in just a way that excluded everybody else, right? But so it would be kind of difficult. Let me start from the beginning. This is how I believe. Let me look at my notes. I believe that I agree with both of you guys on the finances, but I look at it more globally, right? This is how I think we should be taught in school. We should be taught about capitalism globally, right? Because capitalism is the engine that drives everything that happens in this country. Education, politics, and banking, and everything, right? So your freshman year in college, let's talk about the political system in depth, right? Second year of college, let's talk about the markets, right? Third year in college, let's talk about economics. And then fourth year in college, let's talk about personal finances, right? Now, this is what I think. Where what you're talking about, Nemo, I believe comes in is on the graduate level. I don't think that your parents should be teaching children to be nice to other people. That's the start in the home. You as a young child should not have had to deal with children making fun of you because you were different. But because you came from somewhere else, and we don't talk about other people. When you if you date a woman or a person who lives outside the country, they're watching international news. You know what we watch here? U.S. news. You have to turn to a special channel, right, Mitch, to get news on something else. And so, of course, when they see you, you're different. You're the outsider. You're the funny guy, right? But that's the parent's job. Now, what I think can happen when you get to that next level, to that graduate level, that's when you can take up your law. You can take up your PhDs in something specific, and you can take up cultural studies. And that's how I kind of view it. But I absolutely hate the idea that someone like Nemo who came over here and worked his tail off, despite how he was treated. In my work, I see people like Nemo. That's why I like him. I give him a hard time, but I like his drive because I see people sit across from my desk every day who came from places that none of us could have ever, most Americans would not have been able to deal with. And they thrive. And so I think that should definitely be a part of education, but I think it should be initially taught at home, and then you teach, if you want to know the details about something specific about Nigeria, then you can take it on that next level.
Yeah, I agree. Except for the personal finances in the fourth year. I think personal has to come first so they can get through school. But I think a lot of those GED classes are a big waste of time. I don't need to learn about the history of rock and roll. I need to learn the market, like you say. I need to learn the beginning economics as a GED. And if I want to pursue that as a degree, I can do that within that 4 years. But personal finances, to me, and I understand where both of you are coming from, to me, math is the international language. It speaks to everybody. And if you're going to college, in which we're speaking of, in this country, then that personal budgeting and finances is going to affect you and everybody, regardless of where they're from, to get a jump on getting ahead. And I know Rob's dying to jump in on this.
Yeah, let me jump in on that a little bit, man. So I agree with a lot of what you guys said. And I almost feel bad about making fun of Nemo all the time, man, but not quite. I don't quite feel too bad about it. But
he overcame.
I'll never feel bad.
His disability.
But let me ask you guys a question. If we're teaching finance in the first year of college, personal finance, what about the guys that never get there? Right? There's still a big part of the population that doesn't get to that point, where they can, get that specific training. So I think, we should almost assume that parents teach nothing in the house anymore because it seems like to me they don't. I'm in the education system. I teach at a university, and what the parents are teaching now in home is nothing compared to what we were taught. We were taught all kind of things, and the school system itself. Like, when was the last time? They don't do shop anymore. Most schools don't do shop anymore. They don't do home economics anymore. Like, these kids come out really knowing nothing. Now, that was just responding to you guys, but what I want them to teach is they need to teach these damn kids some adversity, all right, and let them know that the world is not there just for them. Let me tell you something. Every day I go in there and I had to deal with a kid that has never really been given any type of adversity. We've been kissing that kid's ass for 18 years by the time they got to college and never told them his shit stank, all right? They never lost in anything. They always got certificates. They were the best thing ever. And if it was something happened in class, it was the teacher's fault. All right? That's bullshit. So if these kids don't know adversity by then, we should smack them in the head with some damn adversity and how to deal with it. Because the world is not a kind place to everybody. All right? And to most people, they're going to have some serious adversity and they can't deal with it. Now if they have adversity, they go deal drugs, and I'm not deal drugs, but take some drugs. In the hospital that I work at, it's people ODing all the time, like young kids. Like what the hell are you so upset about that you want to that you want to give your life away, right? Because we never told them that shit's gonna be bad sometimes, you know. We kept telling them, oh, you're the best thing ever, you, oh my God, you're doing so good. Like, no, you suck, you need to do better. All right, but tell them now, tell them in the beginning, seriously, tell them in the beginning. You can tell I'm getting a little passionate, my voice is going up octaves here, but these kids got to know that the world is a tough place and it's not always fair. Hell with fair. You know,
You know what,
I'm sorry.
Rob? Let's go
I'm gonna
back
get
to
off my
something that
soapbox.
Nemo said. Nemo said men are
Go ahead, bro.
men are men, right? You have the feminizing of the culture, right? And you have little boys talking to their mothers about she hurt his feelings about something that she said to him. I wish I would have said that to my grandma and my mom. You hurt my feelings when you told me to go and wash the dishes. You told me in such an aggressive way. What? No. I mean, and I think that that's one of the problems, bro, is that every these kids are so soft because there is a feminizing or a softening of men who are responsible for doing that type of discipline, right? I could be way off based on that, but that's just the way I see it.
Well, we live in a kind of gently. So
discipline procedures.
go ahead,
Go ahead, Rob.
Mitch. No, go ahead, Mitch. You're all right, brother.
I was just going to say that we've gotten really, really soft. Parents expect teachers to provide all the discipline, and I don't believe so. I think it has to start in the home. It absolutely can start in the home. Has to start in the home. I think most of society's problems can be blamed on parenting, and I think a lot of it, most of it, has to do with the parents aren't there anymore. Kids coming home from school to an empty house because both parents are working because what it costs to live here, right? So the parenting the discipline has to happen in the home so the teachers aren't playing parent, they're actually teaching because they're dealing with behavioral problems that should have been cured long before they got to the 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th grade. So that's just kind of tailing off what Rob said.
But hang on 1 second, Nemo. But don't take the blame off the parents that are not teaching, because, dude, I come from, not me personally, but I had all kind of friends that were single mom with 4 kids, and those kids knew not to get out of line. They knew they had discipline. You can work several jobs and still maintain discipline if you put the time in. We
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Believe me, a career does not let you off the hook for, disciplining your child, man. Nemo, bro, go ahead, bro. You got the yellow card,
agree,
man. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Nemo.
We'll come back to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna agree with you guys. I mean, thanks, Robert. Discipline, that's what I was really gonna focus on. It's all about discipline. But like you said, Mitch, parents come home. You might have one parent at home. You have parents that have 2, 3 jobs, so nobody's really teaching those kids what they need to learn because everybody's busy. Everybody's doing 20 things at one time. But anyway, I'm just gonna end this. I'll say, Nas, Mitch, this is your best. What do you call it? Episode yet. I love you, Robert. I don't know what you said. I don't understand a single thing you said. But Mitch, Nas, kudos.
Man, I love you guys.
Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, man.
I look forward to this.
Hey, man, maybe they should have taught you some English in college, brother. Maybe you would have understood what I was saying, man. Yeah, I know.
5 minutes ago, didn't you say something about making fun of Nemo? Oh, never mind. You don't care.
No. All right, man. Next topic. All right, gentlemen. Platonic relationships between men and women.
Uh-oh.
Are they truly possible? Now, let me tell you something. Now, I'm going to predict this answer is going to sound very different from Nas than it will from Mitch or myself. And Nemo will probably be in the middle. just based on what I've seen of Nas, I think I know where this answer is going. But go ahead, Nas. I'm gonna set you up, bro. I didn't give you a good
Oh my
intro right
God.
there.
Okay, platonic relationship. You said, are they possible?
A true platonic relationship between a man and a woman? Is it
Yes,
possible?
it's possible. Is it likely? Hell no.
But doesn't that depend on the two people's personalities?
But that's what I said. It can happen, but it's unlikely. Hey, let me ask
Nas,
you
Nas, man.
Let me ask you guys this. Robert,
Nas is banging everything.
Rob, let me ask you a question, Rob. When
Go ahead,
did
man.
your best friend, who's a female, when did she leave today? Or have you seen her?
When
Have
did
you
she
seen
leave
her
today?
in a week or so?
No, man, haven't seen her.
Exactly. Mitchell,
Yeah.
when did your female friend, platonic girlfriend, leave today, or this week, or this month?
No, I'm not.
He's coming over in about an
Okay.
hour for dinner.
Lying. Okay, Nemo, when was your girl coming over?
No, I'm
Okay,
dead serious.
1 out of 3.
We
One
got
out
to
of
wrap
3.
this thing
But
up.
let me just say it this way. He is the exception, right? Or is it possible? Absolutely, man. People believe all kinds of stuff that's not real. So of course it can happen. We can think it can happen, right? But it is, men and women are animals, and we have, just because we have modern equipment, cars, and all that, doesn't take away our animalistic instincts, man. If a man wants a woman and a woman wants a man, if it was an absolute that platonic that people could be platonic, there would never be cheating. But there's cheating every day. There are women that you see walking down the street with hijabs on, heading to her boyfriend's house. Husband just went to work, right? There are Christian women walking around with their Bible in their hand going to see Deacon Jones, right? These are married couples. So you telling me somebody that's your friend, she come in looking fine, smelling good? Come on, bro. And let's say she just happens to have to spend the night that night, right? And she wants it. You're gonna be like, it's funny, man. You're gonna be like, yo, we're friends. And now I don't know what Mitchell's relationship was with his female friend. I don't know. But I know women know. I know every girlfriend I had, if she saw one of my female friends who was attractive, she was like, oh, hell no. Because she even thought that something could happen. And so,
I mean, bro, she knew you. She knew you, bro. That's why she knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe so. But I'm just saying, in my view,
Isn't that toxic masculinity?
Absolutely not. It's me. Now I'm not a cheater in the sense that I'm just gonna go get girl right there, right? Now, if we're casual, I'm gonna have some other girls in the chamber, right? But when I decide I'm in, I'm in. People might think that because of the way I carry myself that I'm out there, but I'm not. I'm really not, right? I got too many other things to do. But I'm saying it would be highly unlikely that my friend who's fine could be laying next to me, butt ass naked, and I would be like, nice ass. Roll over and go to sleep. I'm just saying.
What about
I mean,
what about your friend that isn't fine?
She can get it too. She's a woman. This is the point that I'm trying to make, fellas, is human nature. Okay, let me say it this way. It takes a man to be intentional about not cheating or not. Well, let's keep it specific. You have to be absolutely intentional about not wanting to take your platonic friendship to the next level. And what I mean by intentional is whenever you feel that tingle, you gotta say, I'll see you in a month. Because if you come back the next week, that tingle is gonna come with you. And then it's gonna lead you to do some other things. And so I know I come off like a jerk, but I'm just saying, like, I don't believe that. I believe it's possible, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Nemo, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I was just gonna jump on Nas bandwagon right
Oh,
there,
you got okay.
but we pretty much have the same thought. To be honest with you, I don't think that's possible. Now it depends on the attraction, of course. If I'm attracted to a girl and she's not attracted to me, I'm always gonna keep that friendship because I know there's gonna be a day where I am just hoping it could be a rainy day, a lonely day, a drunken day, someday with the hope, like, I'm going to get that phone call. Now, if I'm not attracted to her, it's the same way. But I don't think long story short, no, there's no such thing. Men are men, just like Nas. We're there, we sit,
Yep.
we're going to take it.
All
Right back
man.
to you, Mitch. What are your
Mitch?
thoughts?
What's your thoughts, brother?
I want to hear what Rob has to say first. I'll go last on this.
All
Okay.
right. So I think it's definitely possible, and I have several platonic friends. So don't get me wrong. Now, like my drive for sex is just as high as the next middle-aged man. All right, maybe a little bit more. But I also have a very, very low tolerance for bullshit and drama. Let's put it that way. So if for me to lay down with you is going to cost me any kind of drama in the near future, I don't want to deal with it. So like I could lay with somebody who's fine, who I work with, right? Because she needed a place to stay and I only had one bed available, and not fuck with her, right? Just because I don't want to deal with the bullshit, all right? Like, or even like, so I've had, matter of fact, recently where I've had opportunities where I've spent some time with a young lady, and just the way that she carried herself just turned me off. Whether the opportunity was there for nothing, I didn't pursue it because I didn't want to deal with it. So to me, I'm fine. Dude, like ass is just ass, all right? And there's ass everywhere I can go get without any drama if I need to. But like to sleep with a friend or somebody that is possibly, or somebody that I want to keep around for a long time. I know with my personal history, if I sleep with you, you're probably not going to stay around for a long time. So if I want to keep you around me, then yeah, we can't be having sex. So if I don't plan on like really pursuing something with somebody, on a real level, I don't need to do it. Unless it's agreed we're just going to have a one night stand and that's going to be it. We're never going to see each other again. All right. But as far as being platonic friends, to me, not a problem. I have plenty of platonic friends. Mitch?
I'm in agreement. I have multiple platonic friends, some who I'm physically attracted to and some who I'm not physically attracted to. But it comes down to their personalities and what they bring to my life, whether it be laughter, or we just have a good time together, or we play off of each other. The personalities mix. And like you said, Rob, sex is sex, and very infrequently is it so much better or so much worse that it should make a difference. That's because I put a high price tag on my performance. However, it's always good. The truth is, I'm really interested in the people that I call a friend. When you say a friend, yeah, they're in my life because we have a bond, we have a connection. Some of them I have had a past with, but I also have several that I have spent the evening with because they were drunk, because they didn't have a place to go, or a multitude of reasons that I wanted them to be in a safe space, that we've shared a bed and nothing has happened. And it's not because there wasn't an attraction. It was just because that feeling between us is not there. Maybe it's the fear of losing the friendship. I know that's really big for a lot of women. Like, they won't date a friend. And in some cases, that's it. But it's absolutely possible. Absolutely. I agree with Rob 100%. It's absolutely possible. And it's probably more likely than what Nasir has seen, or probable.
Let me jump back in.
Sure.
I have two platonic friends, female friends. They're
I don't
both
believe
fine. I do, and they're both.
Don't lie to our listeners, Nasir. We're trying to build a business here.
Yeah. We're gonna need,
Okay,
we're gonna need some sworn affidavits, Nas.
this is Gregory talking.
Oh, okay. All right, bro. All right.
Nasir was in the first one. This is Gregory. Okay, I have two platonic female friends, man, and they are both very attractive. They're both living very good. I mean, they're not trashy girls, right? They're doing their thing, right? They're living good lives, and I would not go after them. I would not be like, yo, I'm gonna try to take this to the next level with her, right? Either one of them. However, if I'm single and they say, yo, we've been friends for a long time, I've had an attraction to you, but I never wanted to cross that line because we were friends. And if I felt the same way too, our friendship would go to that next level. It would be because both of them are women that I would take in a heartbeat. But the way our relationship developed, it developed as friends because they probably thought I was, out there. I don't know what they think, but I'm just saying that I do have platonic friends and I do believe that it can happen. But like I said, I'm being intentional about not being in an environment where that can be something that can go to a place that it should.
Nemo, you got anything to add to this, brother?
Yeah, let me ask all you guys same question. I think I know what Nas is gonna say. So Mitch and Rob. So one of your platonic friends, let's say you guys are just having a good time, having a drink like Nas is doing right now, and one thing leads to another, and it's about to happen. Would you pause and say, "Oh, wait a minute, we're friends," or you'll just do what comes naturally? Because I'm a little confused about you guys' answer right there. You guys are going both ways. Mitch.
Oh, go ahead, Mitch.
I think there's some hidden elements here that aren't being discussed. The friendships that I'm platonic with were built based on a certain premise, either through a group scenario where we were all part of a work group or something like that, where we all have a lot of common friends, and it was just built up that's how it is. We never walked into a dating situation or a romantic situation. It was that it just grew out of our enjoyment with each other, either together or with friends, but it never grew romantically. And when you get to that point, you have an understanding of where they stand and what they like and who they're interested in, what their styles are, whether they're dramatic or not. whether they have habits that you don't see in the friendship, but you have seen from the bench, right? Because you've seen them date. It's like, oh, geez, I really like her, but there's no way I'd go through what that guy's going through with her. There's just no way. So I just think there's some elements there that need to be discussed as well. But it's never even been an
if they're
issue.
crazy, of course not.
They're still my
Go ahead.
friend, though.
Go ahead, Nemo. Oh, red card. They threw the red card at you,
What
bro.
you mean, Mitch?
I got a red card,
Oh, yeah,
Rob.
red card.
And he hasn't even gotten to you yet.
Okay. All right.
You did not answer the question. The question was, if you have one of your platonic friends right in front of you, you got some friends, co-workers, whatever you want to do, you guys are having drinks, you're having a good time. And things start leading to one another, she starts touching you, whatever it is. What do you do? Do you stop it? Like, no, this is not going to happen. Or do you do what comes naturally? Answer the question directly. Don't give me stories now, Mitch. There's no politics here.
My platonic friends don't touch me. They don't hit on me like you're saying. They don't come on to me. If it happened, if I have a platonic friend who has decided to take it the next step, I would know her well enough to know whether she's pursuing something or pursuing one night. So it also depends on whether she's one of my attractive platonic friends or someone I'm not physically attracted to, right? So I could say yes or no to either one of those.
Politicking, bro. All right, I got you. Though.
That's politics in there. Rob, what you got for me?
I've said no to in the past. I know what you're trying to push the answer to,
Mitch.
but it's not 100%.
We got you, Mitch.
We got you, Mitch. Rob, go ahead. What you got for me?
So I'm shutting it down, brother. First of all, I'm gonna come out and say it. Listen, there are people that I want to have sex with, and there are people that I want to keep in my life forever. All right, like if you're a really good friend, me having sex with you is only going to hurt our friendship and relationship. It's just who I am.
It's gonna end.
It's just who I am. It's just like, even though, later on down the line we can have a friendship again, but it's always going to be something between us. Like as much as I love sex, it's not that important that I would give away a friend, or I would endure any type of drama that I don't have to. I live a simple life, man, and I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep it drama-free. So sleeping with somebody that I shouldn't sleep with, and I know in my head I shouldn't sleep with it, that's not anything I do anymore. Maybe when I was young and dumb, matter of fact, for sure, when I was young and dumb, I was, matter of fact, when I worked with Mitch, I was seeing like 3 or 4 people at the same job. I was doing stupid stuff, and always drama, and I'm too old for that shit now, bro. I'm done with that. I'm like Danny Glover. I'm too old for this now, bro. I'm getting too old for this shit. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead,
Thanks,
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Nemo. Check this out, Nemo.
Yes, sir.
What kind of platonic friends do they have if they gonna lose them if they sleep with them?
Talk to him now. Talk to him now.
Because my thing is, because if they're crazy anyway, right? My 2 platonic friends, like if we were to go to that level, the only reason I wouldn't is I felt like I'm not ready for what they're ready for. I would say absolutely not, because they're the type of quality women that men always talk about they want, right? And so I would not go there because of that, not because they would be crazy. You understand? But anyway, let's move on. We got a good topic to get to.
All right.
Let me just follow up on that too.
Go ahead, brother.
Let me follow up on that. I mean, Naz, you're absolutely right on this. I mean, there's no reason, even if something happens, it's gonna happen. It shouldn't ruin your relationship, screw anything up. That is just, I don't think that has anything to do with anything. But Robert, this was your best segment. You were direct to the point. Mitch, I have no idea what you were talking about. Let's move on to the next thing.
Oh my God.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.